It's time for that music. You guys know and love it. It's time for the intro. Spawning in the top right as the this is the amazing Protoss. It'll be none other than the yellow Protoss, Jaystar. His opponent is the yellow Zerg. Red Zerg. He is none other than Fengzi, my favorite Chinese player. And you know, it's gonna be awesome. Also, if people do not understand the layout of the overlay, I quote need name. The overlay. Oh no, you get what I'm saying. The Chinese text on screen is comments. That's what it is. And of course, they end up changing the colors. And also, I want to quickly mention the fact that I have absolutely no control over the fact that this frame rate of these VODs is absolutely garbage. That's what the video has. Anyway, well, we better get back to some Brood War sounds, because that is important. And, we have Protoss music for this ZVP. And, alright, what is Jaystar opening? It looks like a Forge FE. That looks like the proper tight wall. If the Forge goes right against that wall, I don't believe that will be tight. However, but, you know, Jade is a map that I can never figure out how to wall off on. But what I can tell you, though, it is mucho importance for players to put their buildings on the high ground. You wanna make sure you don't get contained. Now, let's say Jaystar decided to do a 2-gate. He would be much better off putting his gateways on top of the ramp. Not only because he would have an increased rushing distance, but also the fact that if, let's say, Hydra's got into all of a sudden, and if the gateway's in his base, then he now is at a low ground deficit. Now with Zealots, it's not a super big deal. There goes down a 9 pool. Or an overpool. It might have been an overpool. I don't know. That might have been. I don't even know. This is not what Fengzi normally opens with. I know that. I don't believe that was definitely not an overpool. Or was it? That might have been an overpool. Still, I don't know. I don't know actually. Oh, whoopsie! I didn't quite link up the. There we go. Just part of the overlay isn't perfect because this overlay is designed for the replay manager. If you don't know, the UI of Brood War changes a little bit depending on the. Really, what I'm saying is, Brood War. If you're playing as Zerg, Protoss, or Terran, your graphical interface is different. So my overlay is meant for Terran in the replay editor. So if you can't tell on the little edges, you can still see some yellow. So my actually overlay doesn't even cover like all the screen. That's not important. But alright, so it looks like it'll be a Forge FE. He's gonna do a Forge cannon. He did a Forge Nexus Gateway cannon build. That's safe. Cross positions. Also to note, cross positions on any 4-player map for Zerg, it makes it a little bit more difficult for that third base. It's kind of a difficult choice. Do you take your third base where Fengzi decide to take his at that 10 o'clock, or do you decide to try to play a little bit more risky by expanding towards your opponent and, you know, at risk of getting overwhelmed by units? We have a decent amount of links coming out though that could prove to be a little disastrous right there. Jaystar's pulled off 2 probes. Hopefully he can react fast enough. That is not going to be tight. Oh, no, Jaystar. No, Jaystar. Oh. All right, there's a Cyber Core coming up. Seems fairly standard. And these lings are just going to be annoying. You know, what I tend to do is that with these lings, I'm not any, A+, super awesome, level 19 out of 20 on Chinese ladder player, Brood War player. But what I can tell you, though, is I've never found out the reasoning. Why don't you just target the Nexus? I mean, like, what can they do? They can't micro against that because, like, the minute they're not going to be in the mining path of you, that when they, the trick to maneuver them around. So why not just target fire that? I mean, your lings are going to die otherwise. If of course, your opponent has good abilities right there. So why not just target fire the Nexus, 400 minerals down, then kill off the rest of the probes if possible. And whatever. It's a minor hindrance. And, well, that probe is, you know, getting some good scouting information. I don't know the tech of Fengzi right now. He did have something going in. He's getting a lair. Okay. So, the probe does go down, finally in the main base, so no more scouting information. So, Fengzi, I mean, Jaystar doesn't really have much of an idea what's heading his way. Now, if Fengzi wanted to go a 3-hatch Hydra Bust, it could have happened. You know, that 3rd hatch could have held, you know, how do I say? Could have hit Hydra Tech, you know, earlier on, because you normally get Hydra Tech like when it's like 2/3, the lair's 2/3 the way done. So that normally indicates, you know, some kind of Hydra play. But yeah, goodbye Stratos. He's leaving from the chat. VOD users. He's always normally watching my casts. He's a devoted fan to Puka. We have another attempt, but the can's gonna. Whoa, excuse me. The can's gonna go down. And man, like really, like Jaystar, really, man, like honestly, like this is not your best play. I feel a little, but Fengzi is good though. I mean, I wouldn't say, I don't think this is Jaystar's, you know, best appearance, but I feel like I've said that against everyone against. I honestly just think that everyone plays poorly against Fengzi. I mean, he's getting probe kills going in there, and I think I finally found out the reason why you don't target fire Nexus. Is the fact is if you keep those lings, you know, microing around the base constantly, then go around and find a, you know, a probe off the far off mineral patch, go snipe it off, go run away, do that again, snipe it off again. I mean, you continue to do economic damage. So I kind of just proved my point, but I still want to see if it's effective to kill off the Nexus. So Jaystar's in like doing a kind of a desperation move in some regards to see what he can find, see what he can really do. These zealots, I don't really know. I don't think Jaystar knows what they're gonna do. But it's better than nothing than just sitting with lings in your base and you can't do anything about them. Or if the lings are dead now, I don't know. I hope they are. I don't think I'm seeing any red in the main base of Jaystar at the moment. But these, I mean, those zealots, like, didn't do anything. But, I mean, what could you tell Jaystar to do in this moment? It's like, just play defensive? Like, I mean, that's just going to allow Fengzi to get to the point where he wants to be off. I'm going to go contain Protoss off 2 base. He would just allow Jaystar to do that. He's like, let it. He's pretty much, I mean, Jaystar would already put himself in that predicament. So I mean, totally speaking, I can understand why Jaystar did that. But, I mean, in the end, it killed off, you know, 300 minerals worth of units right there for no apparent reason. Might have seen Spire Tech, but, I mean, it's Fengzi. It's not like he's super unpredictable or anything. And these zealots are probably going to get caught out of position. No, they're not, because Lynx didn't get a complete surround, because they're silly. And it looks like this will, we'll do some, I mean, literally, like, it's Ling Meta, like, is this whole series. It's Ling Meta. This guy just loves Ling Meta in this matchup. And I would probably say, actually, I can't even say that. I was going to say that, you know, ZVP is probably Fengzi's best matchup. But, you know, I can't really say that because I've never seen the ZVZ or ZVT. But I would assume the same. Well, maybe besides ZVT because probably Terrans are non-existent in China. But still. So, I mean, this is a little bit better. This push is stronger, but imagine if 3 more Zealots were incorporated into that. You know, just getting a little, you know, pondering about the classroom of Brood War. What if? I think this push will be a lot stronger. I think it's what it would have been. And it might do more damage to Fengzi. Fengzi's going Hydras, though. Not Mutalisks. Which is interesting. Because despite any kind of scenario that has been in the past, even on version 1.0 on Sniper's Ridge, I've mentioned this 1,000 times, you know, a nice Hydra Micro, by the way, by Fengzi. I completely just lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Sniper's Ridge version 1.0, because in the Chinese OSL, they started before the Kespa updated Sniper's Ridge to make it more balanced, adding that ramp out of the natural. So, you know, lurker contains are really, really good on version 1.0. I mean, still good on Sniper's Ridge, don't get me wrong, but I mean, like, version 1.0. And he opted to go Mutalisks. Like, Mutalisks over, like, lurkers. And I'm like, why? Just on that map, though. I didn't quite understand it, but in the past, he's gone more lurkers. He has a good amount of Hydras, though. Fengzi, I mean, I'm not really sure if you need me to, articulate everything that these players are doing as... Well, I mean, you're seeing everything, literally what I'm seeing. I can't even read the minimap half the time. Because the VODs are that 240p-ish. It's just, they're bad. The quality of these videos are absolutely poor. The games, though, are fantastic. Do not get me wrong. Alright, so these... Oh, look at that. Look at that Hydra Micro. Gonna kill off the DT. And DTs are normally a last sign for protest. Oh, that's Storm! It was kind of the only thing that Fungza could have done there. But that Storm, though, is perfectly placed. Like, if you... Like, you want to go back? Well, you're going to go through the Storm. If you want to go forward, you're going to go into 4 cannons. So... And a couple of 2 zealots. So, I mean, that was literally the perfect Storm you could have put placed there. So, I want to commemorate Jaystar for that. Jaystar, man, you are the ballser. But like I said prior, this is gearing up for the same thing what happened with John Hoon, man. I mean, John Hoon won 1 game against Fungza. It was a 3-1. Like, he is good. He is ridiculous. And I'm talking about John Hoon. Fungza just wrecked him. And he's wrecking Jaystar, and this is going to be the same predicament. 2 base Protoss versus a, you can't, it's not tangible. If you're a Protoss against Fungza, and unless you're really good, I mean, even Jaystar, the Jaystar, is having difficulty against this, taking a tangible 3rd base. It's just not a realistic goal for this Protoss. I mean, it's like, it literally makes like, well, I'm going to 2 base all in. Which, I don't see a lot of Protosses doing a lot of 2 base all ins. I don't really see it that often. Well, I mean, I watch both, StarCraft 2 and Brood War. But, I mean, 2 base all-ins in ZVP and in StarCraft 2 is a lot more common with 2 base all-ins than Brood War. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, Jaystar, I think, has one option here. And that one option could lead into a couple ways. One would be, like, throw down 8 gateways and just try. Or maybe go throw down, like, 5 gateways and Reavers and just see how that goes. Like, he needs to push. He needs to break out a contain, then see how much damage he does, if any. If he doesn't do any damage, we have a lurker drop, by the way. If he does damage that wrecks and steamrolls over Fungza's army, and Fungza doesn't have enough, he can win the game outright. If he doesn't do enough damage, he might lose the game. Now, they're both kind of trade armies. Fungza can't really recreate that much better. He could try to take a 3rd base and go on. But, this is what Fungza does. He does these double drop lurkers, forces the reposition, then the Lings, Hydras, bust down the front door, but Jaystar's going to have none of it, and he's going to deflect this push. He has deflected that push brilliantly and fantastically. And I'm not going to say Fungza's out of this by any means, but I'm just saying that takes a high-level caliber play, high-level APM to deal with that. Now, there's still 2 lurkers in the main base that haven't been dealt with, but that alone, deflecting that so much economic damage has not been done, I think that's good. Now, the Storm's going down, but, I mean, he's engaging into a Zerg that has high ground advantage, killing off the rest of the Hydras. Lurkers are left over, completely exposed, going to die from Archon. More Hydras are coming in here, and this is what we might see the Swarm coming in again with more reinforcings. I mean, we saw it last game. Don't really see why we won't see it this game. The Lurkers didn't even die. And GG. GG by the Jaystar. Or THE Jaystar, whatever the clan name for the Chinese name. Well, that's game number 2, ladies and gents. Game number 2 completed. Like I said, guys, Fungza is amazing. I'm disappointed that he isn't playing Gambit Cup, but if he's to play in Gambit Cup, I need to be like, I won't be there for the rest of the cast, but if there's a Fungza game, I need to be in it. Like, hands down, I'm like the biggest Fungza fan, I think, of anyone. But that being said, VOD users, thanks for watching. Great comments, subscribe if you like our videos, yo.